All right, Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakwakadash. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the brother doing his work through sincerity. We're going to just jump right into the scriptures. This is First Peter 5 and 8. And it says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom may devour. And that's the key thing, and especially in the perilous times that we live in. Be sober, be vigilant, because if you look at the so-called current events here in Babylon, you're seeing things get more and more perilous, more and more dangerous. There's a lot of things happening, escalating upon the earth, and those things are gonna come here to Babylon as well. So to be sober is go ahead and get that. To be calm and collected in spirit, to be temperate, dispassionate, circumspect. To be circumspect about your surroundings and the things about you is of prime importance. Be vigilant. Let's get that one. Strict attention, to be cautious, to be active. So this is the time to be cautious, to be wary of where you're at and what you're doing and who's around you and how you present yourself and what kind of a profile you're giving to the world. It's a lot. So these things, they have a spiritual meaning, but they also have something that we can apply to our daily life as well. It says, because your adversary, the devil, the so-called white man, and everything that opposes this truth, that's the devil. It says, a roaring lion walks about seeking whom he devour. And we're not to tempt the Lord, man. We're not to assume things, man. It's very dangerous to assume things and put yourself in a situation of false security. That's what the world does. The world says when they shall just go ahead and get that peace and safety. This is First Thessalonians 5 and 3. And it says, when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with a child, and they shall not escape. So don't fool yourself to thinking, to putting yourself in a system of false security, man. It's commanded by the Lord for us to be men of circumspection. Let's go ahead and get that. This is Ephesians 5 and 15. It says, see then that ye walk circumspectly. Let's go ahead and get that little footnote. Carefully, not as fools, but as wise. So now more than ever, these are the times to walk circumspectly, to be circumspect, to be careful about everything that you're doing. It says, diligently, perfect, circumspectly, accurately, perfect, circumspectly. Be aware of things, man. It ain't a game out here. All the scripture that says, be wise as servants, harmless as dove. We're going to get that. We'll finish this first. It says, redeeming the time. Let's get that word redeeming. To buy up, to be ransomed, to rescue from loss, to make wise and sacred use of every opportunity for doing good. So zeal and well-doing as it were the purchase of money by which we make the time our own. So redeeming the time, before you know it, all things are going to be turned topsy-turvy, man. So now's the time to take advantage of building up your faith, you know, building up that spiritual armor. Now's the time to do that. Redeem the time to basically kick it into full gear for the Lord, man. To make up in your mind, like it says in the book of Daniel, purpose in their heart. It says the purpose in their mind. Let's go ahead and get that. I'm gonna finish this out. Redeeming the time because the days are evil. Therefore, be ye not, because the days are evil. Taking advantage of the time that's given to us because of the days of evil. And also being circumspect in that regard as well. So wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. And the will of the Lord is prophecy, man. The will of the Lord is everything that you see happening upon the planet Earth today. And if you're paying attention, the world is evolving to a whole different program. And we believe this is going to be the domino effect, the domino being pushed that's going to bring forth everything else. But let's go ahead and get that wise as serpents. You know, these are things to consider as you move about in your daily life. So this is Matthew 10 and 16. And it says, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. This is the word of red, the word of Yahweh Shai. You know, so sheep in the midst of wolves, he's in danger of being taken. Because wolves are the natural enemy of sheep. And also they really are defenses against wolves. It said, be ye therefore wise as serpents, and harmless as doves. You know, so that wise as serpents, that's being subtle, being crafty. You can be subtle on the left hand side, you can be subtle and crafty on the right hand side. You know, the scripture said that in the book of Genesis 3:1 that the serpent was more subtle than the beast of the field. And on the left hand side, he was very crafty, very and that's the devil today. You know, he's making very crafty moves, very subtle moves upon the earth right now. And on the right hand side, we have to be making those same moves as well. Very diligent, very crafty, very circumspect moves. You know, we gotta be just as clever as he is, but on the righteous tip. And brothers do that, man. Brothers are more aware of the things that are around them, more aware of the things that they're saying. You know, we use code words. We know ultimately that all the things we speak, you know, they're gonna make us transgressors of the word. Let's go ahead and get that. This is Isaiah 29. We'll start at verse 20. I'll start at verse 19. It says, "The meek also shall increase their joy in the Lord." Who is the meek? The meek's the elect, man. And the poor among men shall rejoice in the Holy One of Israel. You know, and that's what we're doing, man. We're getting closer to the Lord. You know, through His Word, through His truth. We're building up our faith. You know, we're having that confidence. You know, in our power. We believe that He's going to protect us and put a hedge around us in the days to come. It says, "For the terrible one is brought to naught, and the scorners consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off. It says that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth at the gate." And they're laying those snares right now. You know, they're putting they're watching us, man. They're watching us. They're laying traps. They're finding out where we at, what we doing, how we spend our time, what we search on the internet. And they're gonna use all these things for accusations, you know. This is what's coming. This is what you have to prepare yourself for. You know, this is where you have to strengthen your faith for. So to make a man offender for the word, and lay a snare for him that reproves in the gate, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught. Let's go ahead and get that in these different translations. It said, "Those who cause a person to be condemned with a false word, and lay a trap for him who uphold justice in the city, defraud the one that right with meaningless arguments." It said that make a man offender in his cause, and lay snare that proves the gate, turn aside the just with a thing of naught. It says, GNT, God will destroy those slander others, those who prevent the punishment of criminals, those who lies to keep honest people from getting justice. Let's go ahead and get the NLT. What does that say? Those who convict the innocent by their false testimony will disappear. A similar fate awaits those who tricky to pervert justice until lies destroy the innocent. So, those that come against us, they're going to be they're going to be taken care of by the Lord, man. Said that make a man offended for the word, and lay a snare for him that reproves at the gate, and turn aside the just for a thing of not. Now, translations didn't really clarify nothing, but that's the point right there. They're already doing that. They're already making it a crime, or not make a crime. It's going to eventually it's going to be a crime to say certain things about certain individuals. That's why brothers use code words and things like that. Because they have these algorithms, these AI algorithms that pick up on these words to know exactly what we're saying and what we're talking about. And those algorithms, those AI algorithms, they just get smarter. They find out. Because the reason that you got to understand it happens like that, because this is a spiritual war. This is a war that we're fighting. And it's real and it's here. And that's what you have to understand. You understand that this is a war that's real and it's here. These are the times to be very, very circumspect about what you go and what you're doing, and they don't need for brothers to be out, in crowds or events or things like that, man. We trust in the Lord, but at the same time, we have to be careful about the things that we do. But with that being said, just another quick lesson. Most I wouldn't hope is edifying. With that, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Kahala Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Let's keep on pushing. Shalom.